Hi guys, welcome back to another video and happy holidays. Y'all, we are counting down. Thanksgiving is just around the corner. And I have a checklist here. You can call it a checklist, ingredient list, / grocery list. This is what we're using to make our dressing, to boil our hen. This year we're doing hen dressing. So the star meat on the table is going to be hen. So all of the ingredients that you see here on this list, I have them pretty much lined up here. And so if you don't have what you need, that way you will be able to go out to the store if you have to run out tomorrow and grab just exactly what you need. I want to show you guys just how I make my cornbread dressing. And when I say that it is good, it is so, so good. So let's take a look at all of these ingredients that we're going to get started with tonight. Okay, we're starting first with our fresh herbs. I normally would just get like the trio pack here where it has a sprig of fresh sage, thyme, and rosemary. Now, I don't use rosemary. Not in my dressing, but to bake chicken or something like that. But I just get it because I don't need that much. And the way they sell this, I would rather buy it in the trio pack than to buy 3 separate ones. So this is our fresh herb that we have here. Green bell peppers, green onions, yellow sweet onions, or the Vidalia sweet onions, celery, stalks of celery. Now let me tell you something about the celery. Let me show you this. You always want to get some that got the leaves on them. I know. Don't throw those leaves away anymore. When I tell you the leaves have so much flavor, it packs so much flavor within the dressing and when it's cooking and boiling with the hen. So try to find you a stalk that got a few leaves because we're going to dice those leaves up real fine. You're not even going to know they're there, but you're going to taste it. Okay, and okay, so this is our celery, onions, green onion, bell pepper, fresh herbs. We got 1 can of chicken broth, and we have 2 boxes of chicken stock. Now, the chicken stock and the broth is going to be split between. We're going to use some when we boil our hen, and we're going to use some when we do our different condensed soup. And I'm going to get to that in a second. Now, this is the better than bouillon, the chicken flavor. If you got the powder, that's fine. I just like using this one. But now I would prefer the one by Knorr. You know how they sell the little miniature cups? I think it comes like 4 little cups to a pack. If you run across that, grab that. But if not, then go with the better than. It's just bouillon, but it's like a pasty like bouillon. Okay, now we are at our dry herbs. These are the fresh ones, but we need dry also. I know y'all might say, this is so much, but listen, that's why I wrote it down where you can see. I kind of got them all in little categories there. But when I tell you flavor on top of flavor, because you want your flavor to be in your meat, whether you're cooking turkey, hen, a whole chicken, leg quarters, thighs, whatever kind of meat you're using to go along with your dressing, you want that meat to have just as much flavor because you got to remember that's where your stock is going to come in at. That's where that show enough seasoned stock going to come in at from boiling the meat, okay? So these are our dry herbs. We're going to use celery seeds, ground sage, and I'm going to give you the measurements. This is our family secret right here. This ground tournament. This is our family secret. And I'm going to tell you, it does 2 things for the dressing, and it just knocks it out the ballpark. Dry thyme, poultry season. All right, so those are all of our dry herbs or dry spice. Now, Accent, of course, you see what it say. It wakes up the flavor. It enhances whatever. Just put your little accent on everything you cook, honey. Trust me. Granulated onion or onion powder, you want to call it, black pepper, salt. Now we are down to our condensed soup. You get cream of chicken, cream of celery, and cream of onion. Now, I like to get the cream of chicken with herbs, but since they didn't have it, then I just got cream of chicken. I can always just add me some dry parsley flakes up in there, just to see the herbs in it, but it doesn't matter. But let me tell y'all something. You're going to put all three of these together. And when you saute this with the onion, bell pepper, and green onion, and add some of that stock with it, y'all, I'm telling you, your dressing is gone. People are going to come back and they're going to want some more of your dressing. Trust me. Trust the process. I know it looks like a lot of seasoning, but it's worth it. And it's going to work. 100% it's going to work. Trust me when I tell you. And I also I just kind of like got a head start on some cornbread. I had made some cornbread loaves last week. I'm making more tonight, but I just kind of made these. And you can always make your cornbread ahead and put it in the freezer when you know you're going to make some dressing. Or just keep you some in the freezer for when you don't feel like baking some. I double wrap them and put them in Ziploc bags. So these are all our ingredients that we're going to use. Everything that you see here is what I have written on this list here. So I hope you can understand my bad writing. Okay, so right here where I have the little meat section, this is where I say, that's up to you what kind of meat that you want to cook your dressing with. I'm doing hen. The reason why I like hen versus a turkey, because a hen gives off more richness of the fat. It makes your dressing more rich. But the richest of the dressing comes from the duck. The duck just doesn't have much lean on it. But if you want a show enough rich dressing, honey, boil you a duck with all this over here and all of this, and you wouldn't believe how good that darn dressing would be. But you can use a hen, you can use turkey, you can use a whole chicken, or you can use chicken parts. When I mean parts, like leg quarters, or just legs, or just thighs. And you can also use turkey wings, turkey legs. You can use just the turkey flats. Now, I'm going to say one more thing about this. If you're going to use turkey wings, turkey legs, or just a turkey, the only difference I would say, add at least 2 tablespoons of butter. Because turkey, if you know, is white meat. So it doesn't give off fat like the dark meat does. That's why you have your difference in white meat and dark meat. So if you choose to use turkey, if you choose to use turkey legs, just add in at least 2 to 3 tablespoons of butter, or 2 to 3 tablespoons of cooking oil in your water when you get ready to boil your turkey, okay? And then you also can put that turkey in the oven, you know that, okay? But I'm just saying this is all for the boiling process, all right? And I got another tip because I ran to the store. I thought I had enough cornmeal, and I didn't. And of course, the meal was on sale. And they didn't have any more self-rising meal. So what I want to just give you this tip for the ones that doesn't know. Anytime you pick up self-rising meal or self-rising flour, the difference in the taste, the self-rising is going to have a salty taste. If it's a plain or all-purpose, it's going to have a flat taste, meaning nothing is in it. That means you don't have anything in it, no kind of leaven agent to make it rise. You're going to have to add you some baking powder to it. So I would say, if you ever have to pick up all-purpose flour, all-purpose meal, or plain flour, add you 1 tablespoon of baking powder. If you don't have no baking powder, if everybody got baking soda, honey, so don't say you ain't got no baking soda. Look up in that refrigerator in that corner. Grab that baking soda box out of there. Get you a measuring spoon. If you ain't got no measuring spoon, get just a regular teaspoon. Do you 3 teaspoons of baking powder. Baking soda. If you don't have, let me take that back. 2 teaspoons of baking soda if you don't have baking powder. But if you have baking powder, then you want to use 1 tablespoon of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of salt. Okay, so that's only if you're using plain meal or plain flour or all-purpose flour, all-purpose meal. But if you just pick up self-rising, you don't have to worry about it. Everything is already in it. All your leaven agents in it, and it has its own salt in it. So I just wanted to give out that tip because when I got there tonight, honey, them shelves were almost empty. And you know when they put something on sale, folks just grab it all. They didn't have nothing but plain meal left, so I had to get that. But also remember, they always have the recipe on the back of the bag, so that'll tell you also too exactly what you need to put in it. So and one more tip. My niece was telling me last night that a person she works with like to use Jiffy Mix. Now I don't suggest the Jiffy Mix for no reason at all. I mean I just don't suggest it. I do have a recipe for a homemade Jiffy Mix. If you just love the sweet cornbread and you just gotta have, and the kids love that too. I would give you a recipe that you would not believe it. It would just put Jiffy out of business. Seriously, it would. Matter of fact, I'm going to put that recipe up because you wouldn't believe how good these items work together in meal. And you do this, you wouldn't want any more Jiffy. That would be your homemade from scratch Jiffy mix meal. Okay, so these are our ingredients again. I want to make sure you see it. Because next what we're getting ready to do is we're getting ready to make up some cornbread for our dressing. So tonight is Tuesday, so let's go ahead and get ahead of everything. I got my sweet potatoes in the oven baking. I got 6 big sweet potatoes in the oven baking because I'm going to do sweet potato 3 ways. I'm doing a sweet potato pound cake, a sweet potato casserole, and I'm doing some sweet potato biscuits for a couple of elderlies in our community so they can have some good biscuits for Thanksgiving morning. So I got those in the oven baking. I'd rather bake my sweet potato versus boiling because it has good taste and good flavor. It caramelizes it really, really good when you bake it. That's if you got the time. Throw them in there for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. All right. Okay, I have showed you everything. You can always go back and red ball it back. Thank you guys so much for giving me this time, for the replays, for the thumbs up, the thumbs down. I appreciate you. But these are all of our ingredients that we're going to use to make the best Thanksgiving dressing for our family, friends, and loved ones. All right, y'all be safe and stay together.